You're doing everything right. The planning, the pushing, the manifesting, the working late, overthinking in the shower, scrolling through advice you already know by heart. Still, that thing you want, the relationship, the clarity, the break, the healing, it feels just out of reach, doesn't it? It's like holding your hands out for rain while the clouds keep passing you by. You start wondering, what else do I have to do? And maybe that's the problem. You're doing too much, trying too hard, holding too tightly. See, life doesn't always respond to force. Sometimes it responds to calm, to quiet trust, to an energy that says, I've done my part, now I let go. I know letting go sounds like giving up. But here's the truth most people never tell you. The moment you stop chasing is often the moment everything starts to come together, because the universe, or God, or life, or energy, whatever name you trust, isn't deaf. It heard your intention the first time. What it's waiting for is your stillness, your calm, your knowing. So this isn't a story about giving up. It's about showing up differently, less frantic, more faithful, less gripping, more open. You don't need to scream to be heard. You just need to trust that what's yours won't miss you, even if it's taking a little longer to arrive. So take a breath. Stay calm and let the universe deliver what you deserve. Perfect. Let's begin with part 1, the illusion of control and flow, naturally from the emotional tone of the hook. The style will remain human-like, emotionally nuanced and conversational, with mild digressions and rhetorical pauses to mirror spontaneous thought. Part 1. The illusion of control. You know what's wild? We're taught from a young age that control is power. Plan your steps, manage outcomes, chase success, secure love. Fix what's broken, micromanage your future like it's a spreadsheet. We grip life like the steering wheel of a car that's sliding on ice, thinking the tighter we hold, the safer we'll be. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Much of what we think we control, we don't. Not really. You can send out 100 resumes and still not get the call. You can love someone with every cell in your body and still not have them stay. You can eat clean, meditate daily, journal your heart out, and still hit moments where nothing makes sense. And that's not failure. That's just life. Not following your script. If I don't make it happen, it won't happen. The lie we all buy. Let's be honest. This belief sounds noble. It sounds hardworking, responsible, admirable. But underneath that hustle is often a deep fear. If I stop trying, it'll all fall apart. That fear, it makes you overdo, overthink, overgive, overcorrect. You start believing that the only way to receive is to run yourself into the ground, proving you're worthy of it. But life doesn't work on a reward system based on exhaustion. It works on energy, and the energy of grasping, of needing something to happen on your timeline, in your way, often pushes that very thing away. Have you noticed? The more desperate you feel for something, the more it slips through your fingers. The tighter you cling to a person, the faster they seem to pull away. The more you try to control the outcome, the less control you actually have. So, what if control isn't power? What if surrender is? The control addiction, how it shows up in work, relationships, and decisions. It's sneaky. Control doesn't always look like barking orders or obsessively checking emails. Sometimes it wears a smile. It looks like planning every detail of a vacation, down to the bathroom breaks. It looks like sending a just checking in text when you're actually panicking inside. It looks like staying up all night imagining every worst-case scenario just in case. It's emotional micromanagement. Control shows up as needing immediate replies to feel secure, overanalyzing someone's tone in a text, replaying conversations to figure out what you did wrong, holding your breath until you get confirmation, closure, or clarity. It's exhausting, right? But you keep doing it, because in some way, it makes you feel safe. Let me gently tell you something. That's not safety. That's survival mode in disguise. Life as a river, you're either paddling or trusting the current. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're sitting in a canoe on a calm river. The sun is warm, birds are singing, the current is gentle. Now imagine you panic, thinking, what if I don't get there fast enough? So you start paddling furiously against the current. You're sweating, straining, stressed. Meanwhile, the river was already taking you where you needed to go. But your need for control, it turned a peaceful ride into a fight. That's how many of us live. We resist life's flow out of fear. It won't take us to the right place. But sometimes not paddling is the most powerful move you can make. Letting go doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing your part and then trusting the current to do the rest. So maybe, just maybe, the calmest people aren't the ones with no problems. They're the ones who've stopped paddling so hard. They've learned to float, to breathe, to believe. And in doing so, they arrive exactly where they're meant to be. Great, let's keep the rhythm going. Part 2. Calm isn't passive, it's powerful. You know what people often misunderstand. Calm doesn't mean complacent. It doesn't mean giving up or checking out. It's not some dreamy float through life with zero effort. In fact, calm might be one of the most active forces you can cultivate because it requires inner discipline. It's easy to freak out. It's easy to spiral. It's easy to say, nothing's working, and throw your energy in 1,000 directions trying to fix it all. But staying calm, that's a choice, a muscle, a mindset shift. And when you master it, the world shifts around you. Reframing calm, not giving up, but showing up differently. Let's flip the narrative. Calm isn't what you do after things work out. It's what helps things work out. It's showing up to the meeting without attaching your whole identity to the outcome. It's speaking your truth without shaking from fear of rejection. It's resting without guilt because you trust that your worth isn't tied to productivity. Think about it like this. When your energy is steady, grounded, and open, people feel it. Opportunities feel it. You feel it. That's not weakness, that's power. And the irony, the more you embody calm, the more magnetically you draw in what you actually want. The energetic shift. People feel when you're calm and why the universe responds. Let's be real. Have you ever walked into a room and just felt someone's tension? Like their whole body was vibrating with stress, even if they were smiling. That energy is contagious. Now flip it. You've probably met someone who felt like a soft breeze, grounded, unshakable. They spoke slowly, chose their words carefully, listened with presence. Being around them made you feel safe, held, regulated. That's the energetic shift calm creates, not just for you, but for everyone and everything around you. You send a different signal, one that says, I'm not desperate, I'm ready. And that signal? It's what the universe listens to. Ever noticed how desperate energy pushes things away? We've all been there. You text someone 5 times in a row and feel sick to your stomach afterward. You send 17 follow-up emails and wonder why the offer never came. You rehearse a conversation over and over, only to have it fall flat when you finally have it. That's not bad luck. That's misaligned energy. Desperation smells, not literally, but energetically. It comes off as, I don't believe this will happen unless I control it. And the universe doesn't respond well to mistrust, because in many ways it mirrors you. So when you project frantic energy, life sends back more chaos. When you relax into trust, life opens up. It doesn't mean you stop trying. It means your effort is rooted in peace, not panic. You apply for the job and then you go outside and let the sun hit your face. You confess your feelings and then you breathe. Instead of analyzing every reply, you set your goals and then you allow the timeline to be flexible. That's calm, and that's magnetic. You don't need to chase what's meant for you. You just need to become the version of you who's ready to receive it. Without fear, without clenching, without control. And that version, they live in calm. Part 3. What it means to let the universe deliver. Let's be honest, the phrase, let the universe deliver, gets tossed around a lot these days. You see it on mugs, Instagram posts, and TikToks, with twinkly music and moon emojis. It sounds dreamy, maybe even a little flaky. But here's the thing. Behind that soft phrase is a powerful truth rooted in psychology, neuroscience, and centuries of spiritual insight. From Buddhist monks in the Himalayas to the most grounded, logic-based thinkers you'll ever meet. Letting the universe deliver isn't passive. It's not magical thinking, it's psychological alignment. No, it's not magical thinking. It's psychological alignment. You don't need to believe in astrology, crystals, or ancient prophecies for this to work. What you need is internal congruence. Let me explain. When your thoughts, emotions, energy, and actions are all aligned toward what you want, without frantic attachment or fear, you create the conditions for your life to respond to you. That's not magic, that's clarity, that's coherence, that's biology. See, your brain isn't just a goal setter, it's a filter. The reticular activating system, it's a mouthful, is the part of your brain that filters the 11 million bits of information your senses take in every second. It decides what you notice and what you ignore. So when you're calm, clear, and expectant, instead of panicked, scattered, and desperate, you literally start noticing the signs, opportunities, people, and possibilities that support your desires. Letting the universe deliver isn't about doing less. It's about needing less panic while you do what matters. The paradox of intention plus detachment. Okay, here's where it gets a little tricky, and honestly, this is where most people get stuck. They think, if I care about something, I should hold on tight, fight for it, push until it bends. But true creation, true receiving, is a paradox. You need to want it deeply, and also be okay without it. You need to set the intention clearly, and detach from how it happens. Think of it like planting a seed. You choose the seed carefully. You dig the hole. You water it. You make sure it has sunlight. But then, you don't go out every hour and dig it up to see if it's sprouting. You don't scream at the dirt. You don't try to control the weather. You trust the process. Seeds take time. Stop digging them up every day. Let's stay with that seed metaphor for a second, because honestly, it's one of the best analogies for letting the universe deliver. We're so impatient, aren't we? We say, I did the visualization. Where's my breakthrough? I sent the message. Why didn't they reply? I've been working on myself for 2 whole weeks. Why haven't I healed yet? But the universe isn't DoorDash. It doesn't ping your phone 5 minutes after you click confirm. It works in alignment, not speed. Sometimes the delay is protection. Sometimes the detour is preparation. Sometimes the silence is space for something better to land. But if you keep digging up your seeds with doubt and fear, you interrupt the natural unfolding. So here's a thought. What if you just trusted your effort? What if you let it breathe? What if instead of constantly checking on the thing, you poured your energy into becoming the kind of person who's ready when it arrives? That's the secret. Stay calm, do your part, then step back, not because you don't care, but because you trust. And trust, that's when the universe starts to move. Ready to talk about stillness? Part 4. Stillness is strategy. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you were still? Not physically still, like sitting on the couch scrolling through your phone, but internally still, mentally quiet, emotionally unhooked, spiritually open. Stillness isn't just peaceful, it's intelligent. In fact, it might be the most underrated strategy in the world, because while everyone else is out there chasing, forcing, fixing, tweaking, stillness allows you to receive, to notice, to hear what life is actually telling you. Stillness isn't the absence of motion, it's the presence of clarity. Real transformation happens in silence. We live in a world of noise, opinion, opinions, notifications, deadlines, buzzwords. Everyone's shouting, even the voices in your head. And yet, if you talk to anyone who's experienced real inner change, like the kind that rewires your nervous system or reshapes your life, they'll tell you it came in the quiet moments. Late night clarity, long walks without headphones, the pause after heartbreak, the in-between season when nothing was happening and everything was being rearranged inside. Stillness is where the real work happens, because in stillness, you hear the difference between fear and intuition. You recognize the stories you've been unconsciously repeating. You reconnect with a part of you that doesn't need noise to feel alive. No audience, no outcome, no reward, just you and truth. Stillness as preparation, not delay. Let's shift how we think about waiting, because stillness is often mistaken for being stuck. You might hear people say, "I feel like nothing's happening in my life. I'm so behind. I should be further along by now." But what if that still season isn't a delay, but a divine recalibration? Think of it like this. A bow has to pull back before it releases forward. The seed has to be underground before it blossoms. The wave has to pull back before it crashes with power. Stillness isn't stagnation, it's preparation. So maybe you're not behind. Maybe you're just being pulled into position. And when you stop resisting that stillness, when you embrace it, the release is often more powerful than you imagined. The calm mind makes clearer decisions. Science agrees. Now, if you're someone who needs proof, no shame, we all do sometimes. Let's get a little scientific. Studies in neuroscience and cognitive psychology show that a calm, regulated nervous system leads to better decision-making, sharper intuition, reduced impulsivity, increased emotional resilience. Why? Because when you're calm, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thought and planning, is online. When you're stressed or panicked, your amygdala, your fight-or-flight center, hijacks the show. Translation: stillness isn't just spiritual, it's strategic. Calm is clarity. Clarity leads to better action, and better action leads to the outcomes you were chasing in the first place. So if you want to move forward, slow down first. Sounds backward, right? But remember, the most powerful things in life often are. Part 5, trusting the unseen, a new kind of faith. Let's just name it. Trusting the unseen is hard. We like plans. We want guarantees. We want someone to show us the timeline, the map, the tracking number for that thing we've been waiting for. But life doesn't give tracking numbers. It gives whispers, signs, synchronicities, and sometimes silence. And that silence, that's where trust is forged. Faith isn't just spiritual, it's emotional intelligence. Now, I know the word faith can sound religious or overly spiritual, but let's reframe it. Faith, at its core, is emotional intelligence in motion. It's the ability to stay calm when the evidence doesn't yet match the vision. It's trusting your efforts even when results are delayed. It's believing that something better is happening even when your ego's screaming for proof. Faith is that quiet voice that says, keep going, you're not done yet, or sometimes, let go. This isn't yours. Either way, it speaks through stillness, not through panic. And you know what else? Faith is a boundary. It says, I'm not going to let fear make my decisions anymore. It says, I choose trust, even when the world says I should be worried. It says, I don't need constant evidence to know I'm on the right path. That's not naivety, that's strength. Learning to trust delays, detours, and closed doors. Let me be real with you for a second. Some of the best things in my life came after what I thought was a failure, a delayed trip, a job I didn't get, a breakup that broke me open. At the time, it felt like rejection, but looking back, it was direction. The delay gave me time to grow. The detour led me somewhere better. The closed door saved me from a life I wasn't meant to live. But here's the part no one likes to admit. You usually don't see that clarity until later. In the moment, it hurts, it's confusing, it feels unfair. That's where trust comes in. You trust that life knows something you don't yet. You trust that the no is making space for a bigger yes. You trust that the path is unfolding, even when it looks like a dead end. Because here's a little secret. The universe isn't in a rush. It's precise, it's strategic, it's intentional, and it's always working behind the scenes. The universe delivers, but not always in your language. This part's big, so lean in. Sometimes the universe answers your prayer, but not in the packaging you expected. You ask for strength, and life gives you challenges. You ask for love, and someone walks away, making room for someone new. You ask for peace, and suddenly everything that's not peaceful rises to the surface so it can be healed. It's frustrating, it's messy, and it's real. But just because something doesn't look like your vision board doesn't mean it's not exactly what you need. The universe speaks in energy, in alignment, in vibration. It's not always direct, but it's always on time. So the next time you're met with a delay, a detour, or a door that slams in your face, pause. Take a breath and ask yourself, what if this is actually working for me? Because often it is, even if you can't see it yet. Part 6. When nothing's happening, everything is, let's be honest. Silence freaks people out. You say a prayer and get no reply. You send a message and see those 3 little dots vanish. You put in the work and the results don't show. And suddenly your mind kicks in with the worst case scenario. It's not working. I'm doing something wrong. Maybe it's never going to happen. But what if, and stay with me here, what if that silence isn't a no, but a not yet? What if, when nothing seems to be happening, everything actually is? Why your stuck phase might be your turning point. Have you ever felt stuck, like you're walking through emotional molasses? The to-do list is there, but your soul isn't interested. The vision is still alive, but you can't find the spark. You keep waiting for something to shift, and it doesn't. It's frustrating, but it's also sacred, because that stuck phase, it's often the cocoon phase. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're becoming, and that becoming can look like fatigue that forces you to rest, boredom that pushes you to question your path, discomfort that exposes what you've been avoiding. It's not punishment, it's a reset, a quiet clearing before the new thing enters. But here's the catch. If you fight that space, try to fill it with noise, rush, or busy work, you miss what it came to teach you. Sometimes the shift you're asking for starts in the stillness you keep avoiding. Invisible momentum, how life moves under the surface. Think of a bamboo tree. After you plant the seed, you water it, tend to it, nurture the soil, but for years nothing happens above ground. Zero growth, just dirt. Then, in year 5, it suddenly shoots up to 90 feet tall in 6 weeks. Did it grow in 6 weeks? Number, it grew for 5 years, underground, laying roots, establishing strength, building a foundation that no one could see. That's how invisible momentum works. You're doing the work, you're showing up, you're healing, you're trusting, and even when it looks like nothing's changing, something is. Under the surface, behind the curtain, in the energetic space you can't measure. And then, often when you least expect it, boom, something clicks. Things align. It looks like magic, but it wasn't. It was faith in motion the entire time. That moment when everything clicks, it's not random. You know the moment, the job you weren't expecting, the call that changes everything, the clarity that drops into your chest like a lightning bolt. We call those breakthroughs. But breakthroughs aren't sudden. They're the result of invisible consistency. They happen when you finally release your grip. You shift internally without realizing it. You let go of what was never aligned in the first place. It's not luck, it's alignment. and alignment shows up quietly until it doesn't. So if you're in a space right now where everything feels paused, still, or quiet, don't panic. Life isn't ignoring you, it's preparing something. Keep watering the roots, keep trusting the soil, keep breathing, even when the silence feels endless. Because when nothing's happening, everything often is. Let's move now into a softer gear, and one of the most transformational concepts we rarely talk about, the power of flow over force. Part 7, Living in Flow, Not Force. There comes a moment, after all the striving, all the stressing, all the "why hasn't it happened yet" loops, where you finally exhale, and in that breath, something clicks. You were trying to force what was meant to flow. We've all done it. Trying to make the relationship work even when it's draining you. Forcing words onto a page when the creativity's gone dry. Pushing your way into a career that no longer fits who you're becoming. Force is exhausting. Flow is empowering. But here's the kicker. We confuse the two all the time. Flow versus hustle. The energetic difference. Flow isn't laziness, and hustle isn't always bad. This isn't about extremes, it's about energy. Hustle says, if I don't do it now, it'll never happen. Flow says, I'll act with clarity, not panic. Hustle feels tight, forced, reactive. Flow feels open, intentional, responsive. You can still work hard in flow. You can still have goals, to-do lists, deadlines. But the energy behind your action changes everything. Here's what it might look like. Hustle sends 50 emails in desperation. Flow sends 5 from a calm, confident space. Hustle begs for closure. Flow allows silence to be the answer. Hustle chases what's not aligned. Flow attracts what is. And you know what else? Flow feels better in your body. Your shoulders drop. Your jaw unclenches. Your sleep gets deeper. Your mind stops racing. Because flow is a return to your natural rhythm. The one you forgot existed when fear took the wheel. Signs you're forcing versus flowing. Let's make it practical for a second. Here are some gentle signs you're in force mode. You're constantly refreshing or checking for responses. You feel resentful or panicked when things take longer than expected. You're acting from fear of missing out or falling behind. You say yes when your body is screaming no. You feel like you're chasing, not choosing. Now here's what flow can look like. You're unattached to the outcome, but still take clear action. You're able to pause, reflect, and adjust without spiraling. You feel emotionally spacious, even when things are uncertain. You honor your intuition, not just your schedule. You trust the timing, even when it's uncomfortable. See the difference. Flow isn't about doing less. It's about doing what's aligned and letting go of the rest. How to shift back into alignment, even when you're scared. Okay, so what if you realize, yeah, I've been forcing things. First, breathe. There's no shame in it. We all default to control when fear takes over. It's human, but you can shift. Here's how. Gently, naturally. 1. Pause. Not forever. Just long enough to check in. Ask yourself, am I doing this from clarity or fear? 2. Regulate your body. Fear lives in the body, not just the mind. So move, breathe, walk, cry if you need to. You can't align from a tense nervous system. 3. Reconnect with your why. Why are you doing this? Is it love or pressure? Is it truth or expectation? 4th, release the need to control the how. Say it out loud. I'm open to this unfolding in a way I haven't imagined yet. It might sound silly, but it's powerful. 5. Act from presence. Not urgency, not guilt, just presence. One small aligned step at a time. And here's the thing. The shift into flow doesn't always feel immediate, but the moment you soften your grip, the universe feels it, and things begin to move, not because you chased them, but because you finally stopped blocking them. Part 8. Daily habits that align you with the universe. All right, so you're in this space of openness. You've softened your grip. You're done forcing. Now what? Here's the truth. Alignment doesn't happen once and then stick forever. It's not a one-time realization. It's a daily practice. Because let's face it, life pulls us out of alignment constantly. The news, the pressure, the scroll, the expectations, even our own overthinking minds. So we need anchors, simple, repeatable habits that bring us back to ourselves and back into harmony with the energy we're asking the universe to match. Morning stillness. Don't check the world before you check in with yourself. Before you reach for your phone, before you scroll through notifications or emails or what the world needs from you today. Pause, sit, breathe, feel your body, notice your thoughts. Let the stillness greet you before the chaos does. You don't need an hour. You don't need incense or a mountaintop. You just need presence. Even 5 minutes can change the tone of your entire day. Because when you begin your day from alignment, life responds to that version of you, not the rushed, reactive one. Move with mindfulness, not just motivation. You don't have to run a marathon or do 90-minute yoga to feel centered. Just move. Walk slowly, stretch, breathe as you move. Feel your body, not just use it. Movement grounds energy. It helps release fear, stress, and stuck emotions that build up when we're mentally spinning. Even a short walk, without headphones, can return you to yourself. Let your body be a messenger, not just a machine. Surrender rituals, symbolic ways to let go. This one's beautiful. It's where intention meets embodiment. Create a daily or weekly ritual that helps you physically release what you're mentally holding onto. Some ideas. Write down what you're worrying about, then burn the paper, safely, of course. Light a candle and say aloud what you're handing over to the universe. Take a deep breath, then exhale with the words, I release what I can't control. Place a small stone or token on a shelf and let it hold your request for the day. It might seem simple, maybe even silly, but our brains respond to symbolism, and our hearts need ceremony. Journaling prompts to release control. You don't need to be a writer, you just need honesty. Try these prompts. What am I gripping too tightly right now? What would it look like to trust more and control less? What am I afraid will happen if I stop forcing? How does my body feel when I imagine letting go? The goal isn't to fix anything, it's to see yourself clearly, because when you're aware, you're free. Speak it, feel it, let it go. The mantra of aligned creation. Here's a 3-step mantra you can use every day. Speak it, say what you want, out loud, whisper it, shout it, pray it, whatever works. Declare it with confidence. I am ready for peace. I am open to love. I trust my path. Feel it. Don't just say it. Feel it in your body. Let it live in your chest, your belly, your bones. Even if it's just for a moment. Feel like it's already here. Let it go. Here's the key. After you've felt it, release it. Like placing a letter in the mail. Like exhaling after holding your breath. Let the universe take it from here. These habits aren't magic spells. They're reminders, touch points, ways to stay connected to the you that trusts instead of chases. Because alignment isn't about controlling outcomes. It's about matching your inner state with the life you're asking for. And when your inner world is calm, open, and grounded, the outer world often begins to mirror it. Part 9. Stories from real life when letting go. Actually worked sometimes. We need more than principles. We need proof, not in the form of studies or theories, but through real human stories. Because when someone says, I let go and it still worked out, that sticks. It speaks to something primal in us, the part that doubts, the part that says, yeah, but will that really work for me? So here are a few true-to-life moments. Maybe pieces of your story are hiding inside them. Story 1, she stopped chasing the job and got a better offer. Priya had been interviewing for 6 months. Marketing manager, well qualified, clean portfolio, zero callbacks. She was exhausted, crying in the bathroom, kind of exhausted. One night she journaled something simple. If I'm meant to lead, show me how without me pushing so hard. I surrender this path. She paused her search, took a weekend trip with friends, didn't open LinkedIn for 3 days, a personal record. On Monday, an old colleague texted her, "A new role just opened up. It's exactly your style. Want me to refer you?" She didn't chase that job. It came through the energy of someone who wasn't desperate, just ready. She got it. Higher pay, better culture, no forcing, just timing. Story 2, he let the breakup burn and found peace, then love. Arun was trying to save something that was already crumbling. She was pulling away. He was holding tighter until one day she said, "You're trying to love me out of fear, and I need space." That broke him, but he didn't beg, didn't chase. Instead, he went still, took long walks, started therapy, journaled what he was afraid to say out loud. "I don't know who I am without this." Months passed. No grand gesture, no dramatic reunion, but peace arrived, and so did self-trust. And later, new love, not rushed, not forced, but rooted. He told me, when I stopped needing her to come back, I came back to myself. Story 3, she stopped forcing healing, and her body responded. Maya had been trying to heal for years. Autoimmune symptoms, fatigue, brain fog, a long list of supplements. She tried everything, from green juices to silent retreats, but deep down, she was terrified. What if I never get better? Then one morning, something cracked. She stopped tracking her symptoms obsessively. She let herself sleep in. She swapped anxiety-fueled workouts for soft, intuitive movement. She slowed. She listened. And the crazy part, that's when the inflammation began to drop. Her body, which had been stuck in fight or flight for years, finally felt safe. She said, "My healing began when I stopped bullying my body into recovery." Sometimes the win isn't what you expect. It's who you become. Letting go doesn't always mean getting the job, the person, or the miracle right away. Sometimes it means you learn to rest without guilt. You begin trusting your inner voice. You reconnect with joy for the first time in years. You stop performing and start living. And in that shift, something opens. Something beyond logic. Something that says, "You're safe now, you're home here, you're enough." So maybe the universe delivering isn't always about what you receive. Maybe it's about who you become in the space where you stopped forcing and started flowing. Conclusion: let go and let life find you. So here we are, 10 parts, thousands of words, and one truth weaving it all together. You don't have to chase what's meant for you. You don't have to grip. You don't have to exhaust yourself into deserving. You don't have to force the universe to hear you. It already has, because the moment you soften your shoulders, breathe deeply and say, "I trust," something changes. Not outside first, but inside. And when the inside shifts, the outside follows. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means giving space, giving life room to work its quiet, sacred magic in places you can't yet see. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop controlling, you stop clinging, you stop making your peace conditional on outcomes, and you start living in flow, not fear. So what now? Now you wake up tomorrow and choose calm. You sip your tea like it's sacred. You send the message with love and zero attachment. You do the work and release the timeline. You walk slowly. You trust deeply. You let go and let the universe deliver. In its way, on its time, through its mysterious grace. And when it comes, you'll smile because you'll know you didn't force it. You flowed with it, and it was always yours. If this message stirred something in you, like it, to anchor it, share it. Someone else needs to hear it. Subscribe for more stories that hold space for your becoming. The universe moves for those who trust. Let that person be you. Until next time, stay calm, stay open, and let life find you. Sparkle.